Spirit, I ask for you to lead and guide all these messages. I ask for all of the high vibrational viewers who want to get an understanding, all the self-healers who are here, and on behalf of all the children that they are coming on behalf of, I ask that a huge healing takes place within that cannot be interrupted and that is protected, and that any evil force or negative energy that tries to stop the healing that's taking place, they are removed in any and every way so that they can no longer disturb the peace of those who willingly choose to embrace the journey of becoming a self-healer. But I'm definitely calling on behalf that children are able to experience the healing that they deserve, that all children are able to be free from anything that has put them in some type of binding. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the spirit guides that are present. This is a place of peace and harmony, and no unnecessary chaos, energetic fields can come into this space. So all those who are present, welcome. I wish you the best. All right, you beautiful, lovely souls. So we're going to discuss what happens when you emotionally manipulate your children, as well as the importance of validating your children's emotions, okay? What happens when you emotionally manipulate your children starts at 2:15. We're going to be using the cat tarot, okay? So, spirit, only messages that are true can only come through. What happens when you emotionally manipulate your children? You have the King of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Seven of Cups. It's easy for your children to get preyed upon, okay? So the Seven of Cups here is telling me when we emotionally manipulate our children, we make it so that their root chakras is not able to be built upon to strengthen it. They're not actually given the tools that they need to strengthen their root chakras, which can bring in this King of Wands, can bring in with this Hierophant, can bring in predators who will prey on your children's emotional insecurities that have been created by parents who are emotionally manipulating their children. Also, let's say you're a parent who already has a child who is fully aware of spiritual knowledge coming in. If you're a parent that tries to break apart a child's esoteric knowledge, you will get a lot of terrible karma for that, okay? If you're a parent that tries to enforce, religious beliefs or any like stagnant beliefs on a child who is also already esoterically inclined, you will get a lot of bad karma for that, okay? So, but really, what we're picking up here is what happens when you emotionally manipulate your children. You set them up to become prey to predator. Now, with this King of Wands that I'm picking up here, the energy is of someone who is very observant, very easily able to get along with a lot of people because they understand the law of attraction. They also understand psychology, but this makes your children easy prey because your children don't have a stable foundation of reality. And with this Hierophant, this has been going on for quite a long time. It's like generations upon generations have basically been preying upon emotionally manipulating children. They've been targeting children when children don't know what is going on. And this cycle is actually ending right now because a lot of individuals who either manipulated their children, even if their children are adults now, the adults they have chosen to heal, they sent all that negative energy back to the sender. So now the people who emotionally manipulated their children, they're experiencing the abuse that their children experience in a way that's catered to them so that they can understand their actions at a really deep level. And I'm not talking about this from a place of they deserve this on a punishment level, because I discovered something beautiful. You know, the beauty of karma is not about, shaming and guilting someone, saying they deserved it, they need to suffer, blase, blase. It's about someone learning from the lesson that they failed to learn from, and that, at some other stage in time. So when people do get their karma, we all get our karma, whether it's high vibrational, low vibrational karma. It's not for us to say, oh, that person deserved it. They should suffer more. And I've had a history of wishing the people that hurt me would suffer. And now I'm just at a place where I'm just like, I love them deeply and I wanted to carry them into my journey, but I can't. And you know what? I'm releasing them with love and understanding, because this new journey that I'm on is a beautiful journey. And whatever is coming for me and coming into me is high vibrational. And I'm releasing resentment towards anyone who has hurt me. So without picking up how this is connected to emotionally manipulating your children, if your children decide to heal, you will get left behind. Not from a place of, I want that person to suffer who emotionally manipulated me, but because you realize that my emotions are valid. And if you're creating some type of bondage and binding through trauma bonding and de-armoring me from what is out here in this world and teaching me lies, by toying with the way I view reality, by emotionally manipulating me, if I choose to heal, I'm gonna forgive you, but I ain't gonna want nothing to do with you. And I don't have any fear about you not coming back in my life. I learned a lot from you. So what happens when you emotionally manipulate children? You will be abandoned by your children in some form or fashion. Even if they might physically be in your presence, you will feel there's an emotional disconnect. You will feel there's a mental disconnect. That's why some parents who start to realize that their actions that are caused by them feeling a certain way, they start to realize as a child gets older, they don't have that relationship they hope they would have with their child. They start to realize that whatever it is that they invested in when the child was expressing whatever the child was expressing in that time, they have high regrets because they wish they could have been present in that moment with their children. It's like, I watched the interview. Now, I wasn't judging or doing too much dissecting, but I noticed that even though the parent was well known and had a lot of beautiful things, her child was experiencing upheavals emotionally. And the child had drew a picture of her parent. One would say it wasn't of her parent, but she drew a picture of her parent, how her parent really was actually seen. So if you had saw the parent, you would have seen this well put together individual, but the child drew an accurate picture of the parent, and the parent looked like a monster. So that means that child was more aware of the parent's true nature, and a lot of people weren't, based on how the aesthetic of their lifestyle was. And the parent had experienced was experiencing, or could be currently be when this video is being filmed, a separation of someone that they really had a deep connection with. The deep connection was a reflection of something within them. However, what I picked up, the parent became quite codependent on the child and was emotionally manipulating the child so that the child would not leave them. The parent expressed how that child was the apple of their eye. However, with the amount of money they had, the average individual would have been like, Well, that's a healthy mom. That's a healthy dad. They know how to provide for their children. This is from a limited perspective, from someone thinking you have to be able to have financial freedom to be able to take care of your children. That's not exactly always true. Sometimes you can have just enough. You can have very little and make the best of it. Okay. But what I picked up from this example here is that the parent was getting frustrated with the child, and the child was expressing their frustration by drawing pictures to help free themselves from something that was going on in the house. So the parent was getting frustrated with the child because they weren't able to keep a hold on the child like they thought they would be able to, due to, because a lot of emotional manipulation is very effective in the beginning stages of childhood, but then it starts to become less effective as a child is exposed to the outside world. So this is where you'll have abuse start to happen if it's in a low poverty area, things like that, sexual abuse, child abuse, things like that. So there can be severe trauma bonds connected to the emotional manipulation. So the child will have a huge difficulty of removing themselves away from that toxic parent. Okay, but if this is in a more if the family has more finances and things like that, we're not saying they're not going to not stoop to sexual abuse and child abuse. It's just going to be the child is going to feel as if they do not have people to talk to about what's going on, because if a person's well money but they're tyrants, they'll have a whole bunch of people under their thumb convinced that because I can provide for my family with ease, I'm a good parent. And let's say the child tries to express what's going on in the household. There's a lot of grooming done on the child so the child can be silenced. So if you ever happen to, if you're a parent and your child has a friend who's of a different financial caliber, and you're a conscious parent, be mindful that that child's experiences, even if it might be different from your child in some way, it correlates. Just because someone may have more money or less money doesn't mean that there's nothing the same about us. We're all literally on planet Earth here to be different, but there's things that connect us. And I noticed that when I was a child, I would say, well, you didn't experience what I experienced, so you can't be in as much pain as I am, only to understand that pain is different for everybody. So this is where we're going to go to the next topic, the importance of validating your children's emotions, okay? But to basically sum up, what happens when you emotionally manipulate children, you end up pushing them away. You end up making their lives a lot harder than it needs to be. You end up making it so predators can easily get access to them, and you end up losing a relationship with that child. Now, you may have there are toxic parental child relationships where they'll still just see each other because there's something connecting them. That's why you'll have a lot of toxic parents say, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have children? So they can continue binding themselves to whoever that they feel will not leave them. And most of the time, master manipulators result to emotionally manipulating their children because they start to see, I try to manipulate the lover didn't stay. I try to manipulate my friend, the friend didn't stay. A lot of manipulators attract people that they cannot trust, So when they have children, and a lot of manipulators want to have children, even if they want to get rid of the parents they have children with, even if you're healthy or not healthy, they want to glue themselves to the children because it's something connected to the ego. Children are love. And you would think, well, you would think that the presence of love would be enough for the parent to change, but no, narcissistic, tyrannical people, they want to heal off their children. So this is why emotional manipulation happens. And this is why a lot of people grow up in this pattern of being fear-based instead of love-based. But when children start healing themselves, the parents can pick up on it, the emotional manipulators, and they'll start sending spiritual warfare towards the children. Okay. I'll give a brief story of mine. I'm grateful for experiencing being highly emotionally manipulated from my own mother, because she did it so severely. I experienced a lot of hardship to understand the patterns of how mankind operates. However, I'm very grateful to be able to share this knowledge with others, because, if you're a child coming into a world and you already have somebody out the gate emotionally manipulating you, you can either become just like that parent. You can become just tyrannical and as emotionally manipulative as they are, and justify it that I shouldn't have got treated like that. It's too painful to move away from this situation. Or you can take the time to heal as your heart is telling you to heal. Okay? So without further ado, we're going to go to the importance of validating your children's emotions. And I'm going to put out a disclaimer. The importance of validating your children's emotions is not to be used for emotional manipulation. Master manipulators, what they'll do is they'll validate a little bit of the child's emotions or a portion of it, only so they can get the child to, act the way they want the child to act. And then they'll go back to mistreating the child. Like, there literally are parents out here who are using their children to be their flying monkeys. And one of the methods they're using to do it is they'll validate a portion of their children's emotions. Now, what happens if you fully validate the whole child's experience of emotions is very healing for them, and they move forward. But a master manipulator who's emotionally manipulating their children will just be able to see from a limited perspective. And this is actually a beautiful thing, because this is where the children disconnect from the parents. You'll have some people who just go see mom because mom took care of me. And you'll notice that if you actually have a healthy relationship with your child, people who have the relationships with their children, or the children just feel like they're obligated to see their parent, or they're going to get shamed and guilted. And just like, if I don't go, mom's going to give me hell. Moms and dads like this, they interfere in your relationships, they interfere with the way you parent. And this is where some of you guys might be prompted to just start a whole brand new family unit. And the family members, the parents you walked away from, will try to, start a smear campaign against you with look at all that I have done for my child. Now they want to act ungrateful. Well, if you are pulling away from a toxic family like this, do not feel bad if you are pulling away from a toxic family dynamic because your emotions were not validated. Okay. 10 times out of 10, if your emotions were not wholly validated, you were not able to heal from some type of abuse that happened. This kept you trauma bonded, and it's also made it so that others could emotionally manipulate you. Now, one of the biggest things of manipulation taking place is emotional manipulation. And then it results to MK Ultra. If you don't exactly have, the high budget to do it, then we go to mental manipulation, aka MK Ultra, done in the family units. Okay. So if you feel like I'm ready to start a whole brand new family dynamic because I'm starting to see, a lot of people downplaying what they're doing. There's all these sources out here so we can heal as a family together. And I'm the only one trying to heal. And, reason enough for me to move away is because my emotions are not being validated. And I'm seeing myself repeat cycles from childhood. But since I'm an adult now, the consequences that come with turning a blind eye to what is going on that can't be seen but can be felt. Sometimes you can there's clarity in your emotions, but when you constantly have somebody emotionally manipulating you and there's no clarity, you have to take some accountability, especially as an adult. But you got to take 100% accountability as an adult. So if you have children with somebody and they're emotionally manipulating your children because they feel emotionally unstable and they're trying to hide any form of mental instability, it's important for you to validate your children's emotions. This will give them a new perspective. For example, I know like when I was I stayed with my mother for the most part growing up, and she would emotionally manipulate me to the point where I was supposed to have either had committed suicide or had my home was supposed to have been a mental institution. When I would see my father, he would shower me with beautiful gifts, and he would just let me talk about whatever I was experiencing. At the time, I didn't know how to express my emotions. I didn't know terminology for narcissistic abuse. Okay. I was consistently taught the wrong thing, so my father was different, even though my mother made it so I could not see him after a certain aspect in time. And she made his life a living hell to the point where he realized I'm not going to have much sanity if I'm putting myself around her. So I'm not even upset with my dad, the fact that my dad left my mother and the fact that I left my mother, it goes to show toxicity. Don't nobody want to be around no toxic people. You know what I'm saying? So I would think back, even though I wasn't aware of it, my dad was helping me validate my emotions. This created a blueprint for me to be able to free myself from emotional manipulation. So what is the importance of validating your children's emotions? Excuse me. We have the Knight of Wands and the Four of Swords. No, forgive me, that's wrong. I'm not gonna lie to y'all like that. The Six of Swords. Forgive me, y'all. We got the Knight of Wands and the Six of Swords. So the importance of validating your children's emotions is so that they can be able to attract healthy relationships. Now, if you're a new parent and you're expecting, or you're like, I'm just discovered I'm a self-healer, I want to make sure my children have a better beginning than me. You gonna be mindful that you are gonna have some emotions or triggers that arise, but it is literally a choice to sit there and harm your child, by inflicting upon them what you experience. And most abuse don't start off physical. It always starts off something you can't see. That's why when a lot of children are, experiencing abuse in the early stages, it starts in the very beginning where they cannot actually express it. And you'll have the narcissistic parents, say, oh, well, my child is just going through something. My child's going through an emo stage, and they'll try to create connections with other parents by lying to the parents, like, parenting doesn't come with the handbook. But you'll start to notice, like, as you choose to follow the path of a self-healer, it's a choice for me to give into that pain and fear. Honestly, the beauty of a new child in your life is that it's for you to heal, not for you to be like, okay, my child's going to do the healing for me and shit. No. When you have anything from your past come up and it's trying to come out of you, that's time, even as a new father, for you to sit still. And during these moments where you decide to embrace the journey of a self-healer, this Knight of Wands says you're gonna have a lot of distractions trying to keep you from getting to the other side. This is where a lot of couples fall apart. Because what I noticed is, from my own personal relationships, when I got pregnant, I was like, okay, I'm about to do something different with my life because I feel trapped and hopeless in this situation. Now, me and my daughter's fathers were both under heavy spiritual warfare, heavy pressure. However, I chose to heal. My daughter's fathers, and I love them dearly, but they taught me a lot of how to love and how to release toxic relationships and things. My daughter's fathers were having people that did not feel good about themselves try to turn them against me, and it was successful. So they started abusing me. They started letting others around them convince them to sabotage me. And I also was in denial about what they were doing, because at the time I wanted to see with these rose-colored glasses. However, when the more pregnant I got, I started realizing, I have to break this cycle. So with this Knight of Wands, you're gonna have a lot of distractions coming as you are trying to free yourself and to get to a place of peace. And this is going to be important for you to stand your ground as you are validating your children's emotions, because this will help your children not have to go through as much heartbreak. Because the Knight of Wands is flighty, is someone that it's like you can learn the lesson the hard way. For example, even if your children do experience a narcissist, they'll be able to heal from it in a less it's like their experience will not be like your experience. You know what I'm saying? I was narcissistically abused for 99.9% of my life. I'm finally out and away from that. And it's a very beautiful thing, and even though my children have experienced some very unsavory things, for example, my sister on my mother's side molested my oldest daughter. My children, though, however, are healing at a faster pace than me. And what does it feel like to know that your own family willing to try to take your child's innocence? It really has me learn to forgive, because if I hold that resentment, I'm gonna hold myself back from what's mine. So when I am able to reunite with my child, I'm not going to tell her how to talk. I'm not going to tell her how to think, act, or be. I'm going to let her express herself as authentically as she needs to. I was not blessed with that, so I had to learn to give it to myself. And I'm very grateful that I have the strength to do that, because I can be here for my child, both my children. You know, the importance of validating your children's emotions allows you to actually develop a genuine bond. Now, non-genuine parents will use emotional validation for emotional manipulation. All right. But genuine parents, you'll start to see that you actually will have a deeper bond with your children. So if you are in a position where you're parenting with a parent who's not healthy for the child long term, you want, allow the situation to turn you cold hearted. You won't allow the situation to have you feeling like you have to defend your child from a place of fear. Validating your children's emotions allows them to trust their intuition, because a lot of us have experienced some very deep, dark things, and emotional manipulation. If you have, when you start emotionally manipulating a child, there's no coming back from that. I'm not saying this in a place where you should be like, oh my gosh, let me have shame and guilt. But any close relationship you wanted with that child is gone. So even if you do validate their emotions, you can't expect to have a close relationship with that child, because the foundation that the relationship was built on manipulation. And there's a lot of parents that they like to say, well, okay, what I did that in the past. Let it go. I took care of you all this time. I'm the parent here, but that's not how you treat children. Children are our teachers. We're the parents, and we're learning from our children. Because a lot of us parents are blessed with children when we need to wake up from a dream of whatever has us oppressed. I know for me personally, when I felt anything from my past that needed to come up to be healed, I never took it out on my child. I always started looking within and trying to find something outside to express it. So I'm not gonna act like it was easy. I'm not gonna act like I didn't, the journey wasn't long and exhausting. But I can say now, even though I've not seen my oldest daughter, because being around her father is extremely toxic. Actually, I'm quite curious. What would happen if I decided to speak to my daughter? 7 of Wands, I'm good. He's still on some janky shit. 6 of Swords and 9 of Cups. I'm good, boo. See, let me cleanse these cards. With the importance of validating your children's emotions is so that they can heal. Now, if you're a parent who has a child with an unhealthy parent, realize that as you get better, they get worse. And their only reason they're in your life is to show you that you can do things differently. Now, it may be a sweat, toil, and labor to get that difference, but go ahead and get that difference. For example, I know if I try to be in my daughter's life right now, it's going to be additional spiritual warfare brought my way. Okay? because I will not be allowing him back into my life. He doesn't know how to really take rejection, so he constantly is, just in case she don't give into what I'm asking, I'll have somebody on the lookout to jump her. So the importance of validating your children's emotions is so that if they do experience anyone or anything like the toxic parent, they'll have an example of you, and they'll even trust their own intuition so they can get themselves out of that situation. And they might even give you some tips, okay? Learn from your kids. And also, I'm feeling led to say this. If you have a child with a toxic parent, and the only reason they holding your child against you, because that Seven of Wands told me they're using my child to keep some connection to me, don't even be upset with the parent. Look at it as these people who want to call this spiritual warfare. These people are literally reflecting to you what's in your heart, who you truly are, and they're helping you, you know, stand 10 toes down for what it is you truly believe in. They're helping you stay true to yourself. You know, it's time for us to change the narrative instead of it being, well, look what they're doing to me, to their actions are showing me how I could give in to certain things. What limiting beliefs am I possibly holding on to? Where do I need to surrender to? Who do I need? Is it time for me to surrender? Do I need to keep going? And you will always find new solutions to get through very difficult cycles. You'll notice that people who have brought you spiritual warfare, you know, thank them because it helps you learn to be yourself. But they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. And be patient with yourself, because you're going to, like, over time, learn about some really brilliant solutions to end a very difficult karmic cycle. For example, I have faith that I will be able to be in my child's life without being harassed by my daughter's fathers. And even though I don't see how that's happening, I have faith for it. I have faith about it. Well, I hope that helps you guys in some form or fashion. So we're going to go to a 3-power pick a card titled, How Do Your Children Feel About You? Okay. Now, we're not asking this so that we can see how to emotionally manipulate the child. In fact, we're just doing this, we're, you know, asking this so that we can understand where our child is coming from, what happened in a relationship for it to get this way. Because most of the time, children normally feel, honestly, when they can feel the truth about things, okay? And like I said, we're not using this to emotionally manipulate anyone's child. But if you want to rebuild a relationship with your child, be patient. Let your child be the teacher in your life that they came to be. You know, because a lot of us have had so much fear. We've been exposed to it that when our children come into our lives, they show us the path of love. And it's sometimes a fight to get that love that we're asking for. But our children are constantly cheering us on like, you can do it. And as parents, we will make mistakes, you know. However, it's not for us to beat ourselves up and say, all right, I'm gonna punish myself, even if the outside world is punishing you. Continue to move forward. For example, with me, with this ACS case going on, and with people from my past, when they project onto me, you know, I simply understand that they're understanding that their emotional state got them into a situation that they don't know how to get out of. So I don't take it personal. you know. But also as parents, we have to understand how we feel. So we're going to do a prayer, okay? Before we get into these 3 powers, we're going to do a prayer. Spirit, I ask that these messages delivered protect the children's emotional bodies, mental bodies, and physical bodies. I ask that all the children of the world are healed on a global scale, on a global galactic scale. I ask that all children's emotional bodies are healed forevermore presently in this moment. And I ask that all children are able to express their emotions honestly. And I ask that there are always angels around who will validate them and help them be able to create the justice in their life that they deserve. I also pray that families start healing together. I also pray that children are able to be children again. I also pray that all inner children of those who are self-healers, that we're able to heal and reconnect with our inner child and able to just embrace these new beginnings that are being blessed upon us. See you at the power of choice. Hey, beautiful power one, let's acclimate to the energy. Hey, power one, thank you for being present. Alrighty. So, how do your children feel about you? We have Judgment, the Chariot, and the Hangman. Okay, this is, I want to keep it. Okay, Judgment in reverse. All right. Your children actually don't know you. They want to take the time to understand you. But with the Hangman, they feel as if they will not get the chance to know you. With the Chariot, you're very focused on something. So I sense your children really learning how to become more understanding. Even though the Judgment is in reverse, I'm picking up your children are actually taking the time to slow down, to reconstruct the way they think about things. Your children are very sensitive, and they may think that you're more focused on acquiring goals, and power one, that may not be the case. You may just literally be laying the foundations down. With these bats on the chair, you may literally be fighting spiritual warfare. With this moon here, you may not be able to know how to share it. With this 3 of Cups, you may not be able to know how to talk about it or have the right people to talk about it with. How one, you might even right now just have yourself. And this is teaching you to trust the process, power one. Because it's not that you're, take what fits. It's not that you're trying to, the Chariot came up again, like you're trying to avoid having a relationship with your children. Is you're paying your debt off, righting your wrongs. We got the 7 of Wands and the Judgment. You are protecting what's yours. And you may have people in the background with the Judgment being, forgive me, my nose itches by talking about y'all. Yeah, you got a lot of people pouring dirt on your name, power one. you're protecting what's yours, to protecting your energy. And with the judgment having been in reverse, I'm feeling like it's people who get in karma who are basically projecting their shortcomings onto you, and your children are trying to figure out what the truth is. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands, the Empress, and the Star. So your journey is nothing normal, Pile One. And I'm not saying it like, forgive me, I'm not saying it like, you know, you're alien or something, but you had a trajectory planned out for your life by the people you walked away from. They had planned to keep you trapped. And with this Empress and the Star, you may have been wondering why certain things in your life have been going in a very unconventional direction. You also may have been wondering why you've been asked to, you know, focus on your self-care. You may have been asked, why is it you're focused on your healing like you are? Well, something's coming fast. You got the Eight of Wands, the Empress, and the Star. What information do you have about the Empress for Pile One? Queen of Swords, Three of Clubs, Wands, and Death. Okay, so you have been healing a lot of heartbreak. The Queen of Swords is very wise. And there's something in you that's unearthing. Give me. You got a lot of people talking about y'all. Something in you that's unearthing, and you're drawing something in, and you ain't gonna be the same again. So that Empress card is it's showing that you guys are going to be unrecognizable energetically, look wise, however it is that people from the past viewed you as. They're not going to be able to recognize you. Tell me about the Star card. We got the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. So you guys are healing or have healed from the expectations of those who wish you would just stop being yourself. That's why I'm picking up on a lot of gossip. Somebody's gossiping to your children about you, that you're someone that you're not, because they can't get control over you. Pile One. And so they're trying to paint this narrative that you're somebody you're not, and your children are like, that don't make sense though. Something's not lining up for your kids, but they're detectives. They like to take the time to figure stuff out, you know? So if you are interacting with your children and you're noticing your children are really slow and steady with you, it's because they're trying to see what the truth is. But you can be rest assured, Pile One, that whatever these people are trying to do is being put to an end. Because the Death card and Six of Wands is standing out to me. Underneath the Six of Wands is the Seven of Swords. So there's been a lot of lying done on you. People been trying to turn your kids against you. Underneath the Death card is the Page of Wands. Something about to be revealed. And then we got the Justice card. You get justice in every way possible. What else does Pile 1 need to know about this situation and their connection to their children? We got the Hierophant. We got the Four of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So the person that's slandering your name and has other people doing it, it's someone that you had a family with, your family. Someone that is getting treated the way they treated you. I just saw 5115. So that's like a mirroring effect. This is a person that's getting treated just like they treated you. Okay. Excuse me, somebody talking about y'all. This is a person who wanted to trap you, but they never really expressed how they feel. And now because they're getting treated like you, they're feeling worse than you. And because they don't understand that the pain they feel when they acknowledge their emotions will free them, they're just trying to slander your name to the children. This also be family, ex-friends you walked away from. So, Six of Wands, Seven of Swords, and Five of Cups. So, Power 1, I'm referring back to the Empress and the Star, you're being leveled up. You're very healing, very beautiful, highly sought after, and your victory is the fact that you're accepting yourself as you are, and you're in receptive mode to receive what you deserve. And the people from the past can't get access to you because they know that what they have to offer is they know you're gonna straight out deny it for many reasons. I feel like Power 1, you only accept truth. So because these people know that they can't come to you with lies, there's a lot of emotions coming up that needs to be healed that they're not willing to heal. So they result to trying to turn your children against you. All right, so yeah, there's a lot of gossip going on. So I'm picking up on a lot of energies talking about you guys. I don't know why. King of Pentacles, Hierophant, and King of Wands. Excuse me. So what I'm picking up here is you have people in high places speaking about you, and this is connected to your children. Let's get more information. We'll tell you about the King of Pentacles for Power 1. We have the Three of Wands, Ace of Cups, and the High Priestess in reverse. So someone wants to offer you a romantic offer that would disconnect you from your, right under the Two of Cups, that would disconnect you from your intuition, because they're part of that patriarchy system. But this Death card is telling me they're not getting the opportunity to do it. And how is this connected to Power 1's children? Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords, and Death. because I feel like this would get you off your path of having a connection with your children. And this would continue generational curses of attracting toxic partners. Okay, let's go into the King of Pentacles energy. Why is this important connected to Power One and their children? Six of Cups, Page of Pentacles, this is in the High Priestess. This is someone who would breadcrumb you about, yeah, let's have a family. But the eyes will be green with envy because of your spiritual ability. So this is people who are being protected, you're being protected from. Tell me about the Hierophant. It's like what I'm picking up, Power One, is you have people wanting to basically bargain your freedom, you know, wanting to basically have control over how you do things, even in the parenting department, for selfish reasons. And you guys are gonna find solutions out of this, and we're going to see how this connected to your children. We got the Two of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Empress. So this is people who have some connection to you and your children, and you are the Empress. Yeah, you are definitely represented as the Empress. And these are people who are emotionally and mentally immature and very harmful and dangerous. And these are people who have been trying to turn things in their favor concerning you. And it's like they've been trying to use your nurturing abilities and your relationship with your children against you. Okay. So what does Power One need to know about their relationship with their children? We got King of Wands. Dear God, those itchy. Seven of Cups and the Death card. The illusions that have been created by someone about you are being deaded. A couple more messages for Power One. There's a lot of heavy discussion about your Power One. Basically, the Death card's coming up again. This is telling me something's been put to an end. A lot of people who've been lying on you, and they've been talking about you by saying you somebody you not. Basically, they remember you when they hurt you. People from your past who hurt you, who put you on the shadow spectrum, who help create the shadow side of the Queen of Swords within you. They're talking about you as if you are the Queen of Swords, okay? But they're actually experiencing with this Page of Wands, naivety concerning a lot of situations that you were in, that you've made it out of, and now they're experiencing it, and they're getting on the bitter end spectrum of the Queen of Swords. And so what's happening is all them lies are being put to an end. What does Power One need to know about their children concerning this information? Oh, child. Ooh. Got the Ace of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Wands and King of Cups. Have faith, Power One, that everything is going according to plan. This may not have been something that you wanted to experience for you or your children, but despite someone who goes with according to the patriarchal system in the Matrix, basically trying to make your life a living hell, you and your children will end up having a very healthy relationship. And what else does Power One need to know before we close this thing out? And we got the Nine of, oh gosh, the 9 of Wands again. And the Ace of Pentacles, Power One. And the Hanged Man. all those who have went above and beyond to create obstacle after obstacle for you to actually have a new beginning with your children, that's going to be put on hold, okay? Just trust it. You don't have to understand it. Just know you and your children are divinely guided and protected, and there's no need to worry. The situation is clearing itself up because you're choosing to mind your own. Let's cleanse the energy. Oh, wow. My nose started itching. Hey, pal, too. So it's a climate to the energy. Oh, wow. So, pal, too. How do your children feel about you? The Fool, Death card, and 10 of Pentacles. Your children feel you're very bold for not giving in to situations. Your children want to thank you in advance for you creating the foundation so that they can have a better life. Your children understand why it is that you're on a brand new adventure. Your children understand that if you had stayed in place, they wouldn't have been able to have a good life. They understood that they would be repeating the same cycles you experienced. Your children are starting to understand that the people that, have tried to bind them and have created illusions for them would have treated them the same way they treated you, maybe even worse, if you hadn't broke a generational curse, pal, too. So your children will express it in a very unique, youthful way. Because they know you'll understand it. Your children are quite wise, and they understand that when the road gets tough, you don't give up. The children understand the importance of rebirth now, because they've experienced situations where they feel like it's the end, and they can feel your energy just constantly still going. It's not like your children don't experience difficulties, but your children can feel that you're not giving up. So your children don't give up. Power 3. The children, power 1, maybe you should go to power 3. The children, forgive me. Understand things are not always what they seem. And we take a closer look at something. Despite what you and your children have endured together, it's actually brought you guys closer. Okay. Forgive me, y'all. My nose started itching when I started these readings, honey. So I'm just gonna go with it and trust the process, baby. I also feel like power 2. You and your family are in the public eye, and got a lot of people talking about y'all. Cause like at first my nose went from itching a little to like spreading all over and things like that. So I feel like you guys in the public eye. Your family understands the importance of applying wisdom when it comes to interacting with others, because your children, you know, had experiences of people lying on your character. So you can rest assured, pal, too, that because you didn't give up on giving to the bullying and the defamation of character, they're not gonna have to learn the hard way, the way you did, about who's who and who's not who. They learn from the experience of having others lie on your name. So when others try to come to them and try to bamboozle them, it's very difficult to get one over on your children. They learn a lot of patience by watching, sitting there and watching people lie on you. It taught them a lot about the world. Sitting there watching people lie on you, it taught them, okay, at first they wanted to hide because they felt they thought to themselves, if somebody was talking about me like that, I wouldn't even want to be here. But then they felt your energy constantly still going. And then they saw these people energy, you know, ugly, ready to give up. And instead of just sitting the fuck down, they just kept talking about your pal too. So your children started paying attention to some things. You know, you didn't have to, this is the type of relationship where you ain't have to go in and tell your whole life story to your children. You know, they're already in tune with energy. So they started paying attention. You got the Two of Cups and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 of Cups. Forgive me, 8 of Coins. Forget what I said, cups. Forgive me. You got a lot of people talking about y'all. 2 of Wands and the Magician. So hold on, what's going on here? For power 2. Oh wow. Oh wow. So you guys in the public eye? Like really in the public eye. You got a lot of people that actively like try to become a lover with you. A lot that actually actively watch you. I mean, not exactly say it. Like you guys maybe chilling, doing what you normally do, pile too. But you got people that will come back, like they sit there and watch and study you. Because they want to be in a relationship with you. So your children also feel that you're very wise in the love department. Your children also feel they could talk to you about the stuff that others aren't open to talk about. Your children feel safe to talk to you about matters of the heart. And also, they feel they can talk to you and connect with you without things getting complicated. Like they feel like you're not gonna force stuff on them. They feel like you're gonna let them decide. It does what they want to do. They also feel like you ain't gonna just manipulate them. And this is a relationship that's been built over time. So once again, we got the Two of Cups here. Yeah. Eight of Pentacles and the Fool. So your children have hope that relationships can start brand new after experiencing something tumultuous. Underneath the Fool is a Death card. Underneath the Death card is a Page of Wands and Justice. So because of you, your children feel that love exists again. Like, you know, so many generations, pile too, goes through severe heartache from people being messy. And a lot of people don't come from it. They don't heal from it. But you show your children that even if it's not just a romantic relationship, it can be a friendship that hurt you, broke your heart, that take your time and heal from it. And you know, you will get through it. So your children, they feel you're very brave to not let heartache severe as you have experienced get in the way of you starting over. Now, what does Power 2 need to know about the Two of Cups in that reading? Got the Five of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and Eight of Swords. Your kids feel you're very brave to open your heart up again after experiencing so much emotional injustice that was like planned and plotted so that you could be stuck and tethered to people. Like, you give your children hope again and love. What was the other card? What's the Eight of Pentacles about for Power 2? Got the Hanged Man, Four of Swords, the World. There's a lot of, okay. Do I want the Hanged Man? Okay. I want it in reverse. I want it upright. Well, not I, but the message is saying it upright. Forgive me. Y'all well known. A lot of people talking about y'all. The World and the Ten of Pentacles. So I feel like the Two of Wands, you got a lot of people talking about your family life, pal, too. Like, in a very, they're talking about your family life. Like, you just got a lot of people just looking at, trying to peek into your life. We got a whole lot of cards of resting and ending. But I'm picking up, you done broke a lot of generational curses. We got the World here. We got the Four of Swords and the Hanged Man. And now you're gonna, if you're not experiencing the fruits of your labor yet, I believe you already are. You just need to open up your eyes and see a little more deeply, pal, too. But you already are experiencing the fruits of your labor. Sometimes people think the Ten of Pentacles is, okay, we got the money, honey. No, it's much more deeper than that. But you got a lot of people curious about you and your family because they don't understand how you overcame what you overcame. And they don't understand how your kids are as smart as they are. We got the Knight of Cups, Ten of Cups, and the Hierophant. Also, you be having people that aren't at your wavelength try to form bonds with your kids so that they can get your kids started back into cycles with narcissists. You know, they want to get acquainted to, they want to become part of your family. Because I feel like your family is so healthy. You got toxic people trying to find ways to get into your family, but no worries. The Queen of Swords here with the Six of Swords in the world here says that your family has been basically, that this whole thing has been put to an end of being in narcissistic relationships. This Temperance card here is telling me that you guys are protected from this devil-like energy. That doesn't mean they're not gonna come, but it's just some things that children have to experience, you know, like having people come at them like that. But the fact that you're choosing to be healthy, pal, too, your children are learning how to be healthy when these toxic energies come their way. Yeah, you got a lot of people talking about you. We got the Hierophant, Four of Wands, King of Wands, and the Star. Ooh, child, pal, too. Yeah, you guys in the public eye. And it's gonna change even more. The more you keep healing, the aspects of it will change, okay? But you do have someone who is feeling inclined to get to know you, wanting to get your attention. There's a lot of passion. What do you know about this King of Wands? It could be a feminine too. They want to have a family with you. But tell me about this King of Wands. Temperance, Queen of Cups, and Ace of Cups. So this is a person who's very sensitive. They're a healer as well. You know, they have good self-control. They're not codependent. They just want to offer you a lot of love. They're also highly psychic too. And why does how is this connected to power too and their children? All right, we got the Queen of Swords in reverse, Temperance, and Nine of Wands. This is a person that's going to help you heal any fears that come up that you might be encountering. Another heartbreaking situation, because I feel like power too. You got love trying to come in your life right now, and you may be trying to figure out how this is, what part of this is. You may have love in your life, maybe in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And you might. Good God. You may be trying to figure out where romance fits into your plans, and all this is going to line up with your children. Let's get a card, an additional card. How does romance and how to children, that Ace of Cups and Temperance? It's gonna be very healing for you and your children, okay? Whoever's coming into your life, or you'll know if they're in your life, it's gonna be very healing for you guys. You know? Very healing for you guys. This is gonna be a very healthy family. And that's why people are gonna be in your business even more. Because I feel like y'all getting a lot of attention now. But when you and this family come together, you and your children, and this individual are like really together, it's gonna bring a lot of people trying to figure out what's going on. Any advice for power too? We got Judgment, Chariot, and Nine of Wands. Okay. So I'm picking up from here. Claim your blessings. Accept your blessings. They gonna come in unexpected ways. And I understand that you've been through a lot, pal, too. Like, you've been through a lot. But do not see yourself through the eyes of what you've been through. It's time for you to receive the good karma that you are worth, that's due to you. And that's it. So that's the energy. Like, my nose has been itching, so I started this whole reading. Like, you know. Child. Okay, so ooh, 121:21. Oh, that's cool. Hey, pal 3. Thank you for joining me for this 3-card pick a card. How do your children feel about you? Let's get some messages for you, beautiful, lovely souls. So for the other 2 readers, my nose is just itching. The itching is tempering down right now. Like, it's still there, but it's not as heavy, but I still feel it. And so how do your children feel about you, pal 3? The Empress. Five of Cups and Judgment. Your children feel as if that no matter what they have experienced, they matter. Like, I feel, you know, with this 5 of Cups, you've gone through a lot of trauma. And with the Judgment, you had to take some very bold, brave moves to heal yourself. But your children are seeing that it don't matter what you've been through. That's not a reflection of you. You know, your children are understanding self-worth and self-value. So how your children feel about you, they feel as if you won't judge them. They feel as if they tell you something that happened to them, that somebody else who had a limited perspective of seeing things, excuse me, would judge them. They feel as if you would be super understanding, and they feel as if they will feel so super healed to be around you, and they would feel better about themselves. You know, I also feel like your children would, you know, even if they're feeling an emotion they don't feel comfortable with, they'll still, you know, be like, you know what? I'm not gonna just sit here and be miserable. I'm gonna get up and do something that will get me out of this funky mood. So your children, they understand the importance of self-care. Okay, so we got the Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups, and the Death card. Your children feel like when it comes to you, they don't have to change who they are to get love. And this is going to show up in their love lives in the future, because they're not going to allow people's narcissistic tendencies to, you know, lower their vibration or get them to, you know, start to valuing themselves. They're going to be themselves no matter what. You know, your children will be highly sought after when they're, you know, at an age, appropriate dating age, and your children will really admire you because they're going to really be like, okay, my mom, my dad took the initiative to show me what self-care is and self-worth is. And even if it takes a little bit of time to get what I'm worth, you know, I understand the importance of patience. So your children are going to be very wise at a young age. We got the 4 of Wands, Five of Wands, the World, and King of Wands. So your children want to thank you for putting it into frenemy relationships. Because the children are going to be very popular. They're going to just embrace who they are. They're not going to try to be somebody they ain't. And because you put it into frenemy dynamics, power 3, your children going to do the same. This is very high vibrational reading. Okay. You got the Sun. The Tower in reverse. And the Strength card. Your children are going to hold their ground no matter what happens. Your children admire you because you're not a pushover and you don't let nobody just, take advantage of you. We got the Five of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Devil card. So your kids understand that there's some things out of their control that they can't handle. I mean, not handle, I didn't mean to say that they can't. There's some things out of their control that they can't micromanage. So your children are going to be very close to the universe because they're going to understand they can't control people in devil energy. Fighting fire with fire only makes it worse. They're going to understand that when people project their bullshit into them and then try to act like a victim to get away with shit, it's only because people want to put your children in this energy where they're attracting a lot of toxicity because they're feeling emotionally low. Like I really feel like devil energy people may try to put your children in conflict because your children are naturally peaceful. So they can make your children and try to project onto your children, well, this is who you are and how you are because you feel this way. However, your children are always going to be in the world energy and the Six of Wands energy when it comes to this type of energy. Like, I mean, they're going to always be finding new ways to look at how to deal with these situations and circumstances. And so people will get really upset with your children because they're going to be like, I really hope that I would make Power 3's children feel like shit. And they may feel something, but they're going to know how to healthily express it and keep it pushing. Your kids ain't gonna be the type of people who like, I'm afraid of what people gonna think if I defend myself. Your children are the type of people, they'll defend themselves and tell you the truth when you come to school about it. You ain't gonna have to wonder, you ain't gonna have to worry about people bullying your children and getting away with it, Power 3. Not even adults. Adults can't even bully your children and get away with it. Your children will call their asses out. We got Judgment and the Three of Cups. Your children feel you a good person to come to tell them about any and everything, and you will give them the honest to God truth. So this is what's going to help them be able to understand. Child, the difference between a friend and a frenemy. Because you're going to set the tone for them for healthy relationships. So it don't mean they ain't going to ever have, the little stages where they meet these fake people. It's what they're going to do after they become aware of it. Because a lot of us, we're aware we're around people that ain't no good for us, but, we'll be emotionally sucked in and emotionally manipulated to stay in the situation. And then by the time we're ready to get out, the person already done planned and plotted so much to your own demise that you got to start from scratch. Your children ain't gonna have to endure that. They're going to start taking action before it gets bad, okay? We got the Temperance and the World. Oh my gosh, I never had these cards before together. So your children feel like you're very healing and they feel like you're very inspirational and you help them begin again. Like, let's say, you know, there's 5 of swords here, but your children, like, they stand their ground because of you. Your children could deal with some bullies at school, and you can help them see a completely new perspective of how to look at it. Your children definitely admire you about the advice you'll be giving them too. So let's get another card and we're gonna close it out. Somebody do some self-care. We have the Fool, the Death, and the Queen of Swords. So I'm picking up, your children feel comfortable to begin again. Your children feel comfortable starting brand new. Your children feel comfortable closing cycles that don't serve them. Your children don't let people emotionally manipulate them. Your children don't let people mentally manipulate them. Your children don't play no games. And people that try to test your children, they leave your kids alone. They leave your kids feeling like, I wish I would have never fucked with Power 3's kids. You know? Also, people who fuck with your children, Power 3, they get shitty karma. It's not good to fuck with a high priestess, especially when they train. And you'll notice, Power 3, you a high priestess yourself, or a high priest. Anyone who tries to stop you from getting access to your spiritual abilities, they're gonna be suffering for a very long time until they pay off all that karmic debt. Whoever had you kept you in a suffering energy for the longest, they gonna suffer worse. Curious, what is the karma of those who hurt Power 3? Ace of Pentacles, the Fool, Ace of Cups, ooh, and 6 of Swords. They have to see you be happy. Yep, they got to see you be happy. They see you be happy. I'm curious, how is this a karma? Judgment and 10 of Swords. Because they're going to be reminded that everything they did is stop Power 3 and their kids from trying to reach their full potential. Okay, anyways, we're going to end it here. I just heard a message, Power 3. It's not good to play God with God's children. So don't worry about your enemies of your past anymore. Just realize it's not good to play God with God's children. And that's enough. Have a good day, Power 3.